Hey all, Plastic Commander here, and I hope all of you guys are having a very happy, merry season this year. I know I am. In fact, after I make this video, I'm going to go get some Chinese food. And that's not because I'm Jewish or anything, it's just because I don't have a family. Today we're going to be counting down the top 5 gifts that all Toy Army-Men fans love to see under their tree every year. Whether it's tanks, planes, boats, or Army-Men, we love to see them, and we're going to be looking at the best ones that not only I get, but I'm sure you guys get too. So, without further ado, let's start our holiday special. In the number 5 spot, we have Army-Men. Thought that one was pretty obvious. In the number 4 spot, we have the Toy Army-Men mug. So, this mug can be found on Amazon and probably eBay, and it's a really cool, made by Big Mouth Toys, as you can see on the back, and there's the website if you want to get it from there. And y'all recognize this mug because this is the one I have in a lot of my videos. It sits on my shelf, and I also occasionally drink out of it. Normally, I keep it filled with Army-Men. I dump them out and on my shelf. I actually have them filled with the Burger King Toy Story Army-Men. Yeah, that's what I keep them filled with. I bought a bunch of those. I actually bought a bag of those from like 1995 and opened it. So if you're a Burger King toy collector, I'm sorry. Please don't hunt me down and kill me. But yeah, it's a really cool little novelty piece that any Toy Army-Men fan will love. So the Toy Army-Men mug, really, really cool. In the number 3 spot, we have the Army-Men games. So, I own most of the Army-Men games. I actively collect them, but I don't own all of them. The ones I'm missing really are just the PC ones, but I thought I would run through and talk about a few that are my favorite. So, the reason these aren't higher up is because to play these, you need either an older console or a PC, and I know not everyone has those. I think on the new Xbox, you can play some of them. I'm not sure. I don't do Xbox because, well, I'm just not one of those people. I'll put that nicely as I can. But I have a bunch of old consoles, so I thought I would go through a few of the games I enjoy the most. So, Air Attack 2. The first Air Attack in this one are probably 2 of the best Army-Men games, to be honest. If you know anything about the Army-Men games, you know they aren't super great. However, if you're an Army-Men fan, they are all that you need. So, Air Attack 2, really, really fun. And you get to play as that really cool-looking guy with a cavalry hat. I don't know his name. It's, let's just make up a name. Buck McRuff-looking person. That's a really good name. So, then up next, this is actually my favorite of the series, Army-Men RTS. This was the first Army-Men game I played back in like 2006, and it's a lot of fun. Basically, it's playing with Army-Men and making it into a game. Like, you can look on the back, you set up, like, you build an army, and you build a base, and you send them out to go fight the Tan. In fact, on PC, if you have a private server, you can actually play this on multiplayer. There was a multiplayer function that they never finished. It's in the menu screen. But they never completed it for console. But on PC, if you have a private server, you can actually play it with friends. Then up next, another one of my favorites, Army-Men Sarge's War. And there's Sarge himself, Sergeant Hawk, looking all gruff. In fact, did you guys know they made action figures based off the characters from these games? They did. And they're really expensive. Like, Sarge goes for like $100. Like, it's ridiculous how high they are. And they're really hard to find too. I've been trying to get my hands on them, and I just cannot get a hold of them. But Sarge's War, I have it for the GameCube. It was essentially, this was the last one 3DO actively worked on, and it actually wasn't published by 3DO. It was published by Global Star, but they worked on it before they sold the rights and went bankrupt. So Sarge's War, this is another one of my favorites, and one of the first ones I played. And lastly, for the PlayStation 1, we have the OG Sarge's Heroes. So, the PlayStation 1 version, I believe, is actually better than the N64 version. So if you have a PS1, definitely get this one. I think it's mostly just because the controls just work better. It's kind of awkward on the N64 controller. But this is also another fun one. I actually think Sarge's Heroes 2 is better, although that game is really difficult. So maybe not give it to a super young child. But yeah, Sarge's Heroes, another great one. So the Army Men games, there's a few of them. There's like 30, but they're all really, really great. Do you ever get this feeling of complete and total emptiness inside yourself? An emptiness that perhaps can only be compared with the absence of an all-knowing and all-loving creator. Perhaps that absence is not due to apathy or even non-existence, but rather fear. Perhaps hundreds of years ago, our all-knowing and all-loving God was stricken with fear at us, his creation. And perhaps if that fear is so great that it drives God himself away, for us to fear ourselves is only but a worthless endeavor and a completely pointless and tiring exercise. And perhaps the only real option is to accept whatever comes our way. For we ourselves choose our own destiny, no matter what that destiny may be. And coming close to number 1, in the number 2 spot, why not get that Army Men fan a helmet? Yes, as you can see here, I have a World War I Brody helmet. I actually got this for Christmas and my birthday from a good friend of mine named Dylan. Thank you, Dylan. Gonna shout him out real quick. And this is like I said, a World War I Doughboy helmet. And inside it has some protective padding. Really, really nice. A really, really good quality helmet. It is plastic, so it's perfect for children. So if you want to get, a child this would be a good one. I wouldn't recommend getting a child like a metal M1. That would probably break their neck. It's pretty heavy. But yeah, this helmet's really cool, and I can't wait to feature it in a future video with a new character who I will not spoil. And finally, in the number 1 spot, why not get that Toy Army Men fan some nice BMC accessory vehicles? So, I have a sprawl of them right now in front of the camera, and these are really cool, mostly because they're super detailed, and 3 of these, not really this one, are 132. This one's a little bit smaller than 132, but the other 3 are. And even this one right here will still go well with those Timmy patent takes that you have. So, BMC actually makes takes that go with the Army Men like they're supposed to. If you know anything about Army Men takes, is that normally they are a lot smaller than what they should be in real life, and that's just because of cost. If they were to scale like they should be, it would make the sets way more expensive, so companies just didn't do that. Probably the closest one we get is the Timmy tank, which we all know, the patent. But I have a handful of BMC vehicles here, and I'm going to look at these just one by one, and we'll start with not really a vehicle, but the 88 flat cannon. So, this is based off the Glencoe Marks Battlegrounds cannon. Most of their accessories are actually inspired by or directly based off Mark sets and NPC sets. So the 88, if you know anything about World War II, was a devastating artillery piece that the Germans used, and it was really, really notorious for how fast it could be reloaded and fired, and how efficient it was. So a really, really nice piece to have for your German army. And I also have a classic toy soldier binoculars guy looking ahead, just to go with it, just so you can see our scale that this is the right size, basically. So put that one aside, and another German piece is the King Tiger tank. This is an absolute monster. Again, if you know anything about World War II, you know the Tiger was a devastating vehicle on the battlefield. They made about just under 2,000 of these in World War II, the Germans did, and they were huge. They were really big, and you can tell just by putting it next to this guy, it's a really massive vehicle. So a really good gift for you to get that toy Armyman fan, especially if they're building a World War II German army. And then right after that, we have the anti-aircraft vehicle. So, one vehicle a lot of people forget that is pretty necessary is an anti-aircraft vehicle. Yes, Suki? Is that all you have to say? So, as I was saying, an anti-aircraft vehicle is very important for the battlefield to take out all those helicopters and B-52 bombers that may be coming to mess your whole day up. And like I said, it's not really to scale like 132, as we all know. But still, it's still a great little piece, and you can buy them in a 4-pack off eBay and Amazon from Victory Buy and a couple other sellers. And finally, one of my personal favorites, the Sherman. So I'm not sure which model of Sherman this is, if it's M1, M2, or M3, but still really cool. You got an American flag. This is, of course, an American tank, and they made tens of thousands of these. That's the thing people forget. Germany had a lot of really, really good equipment, but the Allies were just able to produce so much more than the Germans were. They just had a better manufacturing base in the US. So, really, really cool. And putting him up against this guy, again, this is pretty much the correct size. 132. So, this one and the Tiger go for about 15 each plus shipping. So, that is kind of steep, but they are so nice. You just have to have at least one or two of them. So, number 1, BMC vehicles. So, there you guys have it. The top 5 things that you guys should send me when I create a P.O. box here in the near future. So, whenever you're wondering what to send to good old Plastic Commander, I made a video. I told you, it's the Christmas video. Any of those things, those are all things I like. You ever want to just splurge a little bit for your good old pal, the Plastic Commander? Now you know what to do. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I hope you guys all have a very happy holiday. My videos have been a little irregular this holiday season, and that's really just because I've been getting sick. I've gotten sick like twice, and I've had some other work-related stuff going on, but other than that, I should be uploading around every 10 days like I normally do. So, with that, guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you join our Discord, link in the channel description, and I hope you all have a very merry holiday season. Bye.